Hi, I'm Hayley McMahon and this is Coast Community News 5 at 5, March 12, 2021. Coming up this week, Central Coast Council Administrator strikes, member for Terrigal Adam Crouch strikes back, and the Administrator returns. An Ideas Hub opens at the hospital. The entrance library is set to close. And a local photographer captures some inspiring Central Coast women for International Women's Day. We're kicking things off today with the ultimate council saga. Let's go to Dave, who can hopefully shed some more light on the situation.
So Central Coast Administrator Dick Person has called out comments made by State Member for Terrigal, Adam Crouch, during his speech at the March 9th Council meeting, reminding the Parliamentary Secretary that the rate harmonisation increases were a part of the amalgamation process that was in fact a state government project. His speech also targeted former Mayor Jane Smith in her interview with Coast Community News and ex-CEO Gary Murphy, stating that their hypocrisy was noted. And in a shock move, the Administrator released a series of internal emails that showed the former CEO did know about the poor financial position of council as far back as April 2020. Well, shortly after the Administrator's assertions, the Parliamentary Secretary, Adam Crouch, defended the state government's position in an interview with Coast Community News. This is some of what he had to say.
He believed that what was said in council tried to infer that the state government had a responsibility with regards to the rate rise. And look, more than 3,500 people have written to IPART, which is exactly the right thing to do, because rate rises are a decision that is made independently. Council or the Administrator had the choice to either do or do not apply for a rate rise. He made the decision to apply for a rate rise, and the community are obviously very upset about that. And they feel, as a ratepayer myself, that it's unfair that they should have to pay for the mistakes of a group of councillors and some of the senior staff.
And not to be outdone, the Administrator sent out an open letter that he had penned to Mr Crouch, criticising Mr Crouch's position in simply opposing rate rises. He said, quote, "You have never offered a single idea or proposal on how to deal with the crisis other than opposing a rate increase." Well, the Administrator's new hope, as it were, is to ask the public to reduce the number of councillors from 15 to 9. Mr Person said the 15-person model had turned the council into a parliament, and this was fundamentally flawed. He said he was pressing on with his referendum to be held at the September local government elections, asking residents to consider reducing the number of councillors back to that number. Well, that's it. Back to you, Hayley.
Thanks, David. An old ward at Gosford Hospital is now home to an Ideas Hub. The space is for health experts and local businesses to tackle healthcare challenges in local hospitals through innovative technology. On Monday, our journos took off their blazers, hopped into some blue scrubs, and spoke to Central Coast Local Health District Chief Executive Andrew Montague, Perioperative Nurse Manager Tracy Curl, and Spotto CEO Alan Williams about the new hub.
In the whole world, there are very few places like the Ideas Hub here. It's an innovation space in the middle of a busy hospital. And that's really quite remarkable, because if you're an innovator, you've got a novel idea, what you want to be able to do is be with the people who have the problems, who are going to help you sort of build the things that will solve them. And the things that we decided to try and solve in the Ideas Hub weren't big medical problems. They take a long time to solve. What we decided to do is focus on problems that were important, but that were solvable quite quickly, and those tend to be process problems.
So before, we couldn't find pieces of equipment. If we were looking for them, we would have to send people outside to look for them. We could lose staff for 20 minutes. Now they can get on a computer or on a mobile app. They can look for the piece of equipment and go and find it straight away. So then that stops the wasted time. It also takes valuable time away from the bedside, which we need, the staff here when we need other pieces of equipment. So it's a great time-saving thing, and it's a good safety mechanism for us as well.
One of our key aims is we want to develop local companies even further so they stay on the coast. because a lot of people that work in the digital or IT space actually move away, or they live here and travel. But if we can actually have an environment where they can actually stay, there's a huge opportunity for the overarching economy of the Central Coast.
Groups of locals were at a community rally in the entrance on Tuesday, March 9, to voice their anger on the loss of essential services and the council's plans to close the local library. Commonwealth and Westpac Bank have already closed down their services, with the library now doomed to face the same fate. We spoke to the Entris MP David Meehan and a local resident about the closure.
I was shocked when the union told me their members had been told the library was set down for closure. Council didn't do a media release about it. They didn't do any consulting about it. The administrator said that we wouldn't have any service cuts. That's why they needed to borrow money, sack staff and put up our rates. But that's a service cut if it leaves. And more than being a service cut, it would damage the economic life of the area.
This is the majority pensioner population, and they haven't got the wherewithal and the ability to get around as other people used to do when they're younger. And this is just an essential service. I just can't believe they would do this.
Now let's go to sport with Hawk.
Thanks, Hayley. Well, the week started well for sport on the coast with yet another Mariners win at Central Coast Stadium against second place MacArthur, a win that sees the boys in pink shoot ahead 7 points clear on the A-League table. The 2 goals for the Mariners brought 2 milestones. For veteran Matty Simon, his 5th goal in 6 matches, and for debutant Matt Hatch, who has risen from club ball boy to first team player, the fastest debut goal in Australian National League history, scoring with his very first touch of the ball after only 25 seconds on the pitch. The Mariners will now face Perth Glory at Central Coast Stadium on Sunday at 4:05 p.m. Also at Central Coast Stadium this weekend will be the Round 1 NRL clash between the New Zealand Warriors and the Gold Coast Titans, tomorrow at 3 p.m. The Warriors are now confirmed to remain on the coast until at least June, but will seek to hold on to their true club identity.
Well, we'd love every Kiwi in New South Wales, Queensland, wherever you are, to come and support us here on the Central Coast at this great stadium. And next Saturday is going to be, kicking off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Bring the kids, bring the family.
And finally, Central Coast local winter sportsman Matt Graham holds onto his thin lead in the International Ski Federation's World Cup standings after achieving his career's 2nd World Championship medal in the men's dual moguls, shown here. With the World Cup final scheduled for March 14th in Almaty, Kazakhstan, Graham will hope to become the first Australian male to win the World Cup Crystal Globe title since Dale Begg-Smith in 2010. Best of luck to you, Matty. Now let's see what's happening with the weather with Harry.
Thanks, Hawk. It looks like a muggy weekend is on the way, with hot temperatures and some rain predicted. Saturday will be a partly cloudy day with a maximum temperature of 31 degrees. There is a slight 30% chance of a shower or thunderstorm, with winds north to northeasterly from 15 to 25 kilometres an hour, increasing to 35 kilometres an hour in the middle of the day. Sunday has a 95% chance of rain and a maximum temperature of 24, and a chance of a thunderstorm in the morning and the afternoon. Winds will be northerly from 15 to 25 kilometres an hour, and then things will start to cool down with a gusty southerly from 30 to 50 kilometres an hour during the morning. Back to you, Hayley.
Thanks, Harry. Make sure you pick up a copy of this week's Coast Community News, Coast Community Chronicle and Pelican Post, or go to our website, Spotify and socials for all updates. Before we say goodbye, local artist and photographer Sylvia Keys has photographed some inspiring Central Coast women in celebration of International Women's Day. The photos will be on exhibition at World Square in Sydney on Monday, March 15, as a part of the She Saw Hidden Women tour. We caught up with Syl to talk about the exhibition and her work. Have a great weekend, and we look forward to catching up with you next week for another 5 at 5.
Yeah, well, my passion is portraiture. So I think most people in general don't feel 100% comfortable in front of the camera. But yeah, my role is to just make it as easy as possible and just capture an essence of them. I'm capturing people in environments that they feel more comfortable in as well, and environments that inspire them.